What's up, hey everybody? This is Miss G Glow. Everyone likes to tell me Africa awaits. Hello, group. Hello, group. Hello, my repatriates, my folks on the move, my folks that are and hello. I keep forgetting. 50 Shades of Glow. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Keisha, thank you so much for jumping on. We are, we have, uh, we have focus, 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 focus. Put focus down in the chat. Let's start this off good. Thank you so much, Miss Stephanie. Thank you for jumping on. I love the group. We are on a mission. Miss Crystal, thank you so much. We're going to get this party started. I'm loving it. We're going to get this party started. Miss Val, my girl. Yes, I'm loving this. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I'm so glad that God told me change up the venue because I was going on live on my personal and I was getting drips, drops because you know what? Some folks they're not interested, and the folks that were coming on was just like being voyeurs. Okay, they wasn't. We talking serious business, so we got to be like minded, be around like minded on a mission for 2025 because yesterday, like I said, it was January 6th, and it was you could hear a pin drop. It's just so interesting that it was January 6th and the media didn't talk about it. Isn't that interesting? Right? And it's about to get bowdy bowdy shortly. It's the countdown, but we are ready. So thank y'all for jumping in the chat. And I'm y'all are gonna love this, and y'all are gonna be so surprised. So, has anyone heard of Angola, or even knows I'm doing uh, a little history? I'm not a teacher, but I'm gonna quiz y'all from time to time to get your little uh, spikes going. Has anyone heard of Angola? Because that's what we're talking about tonight. Angola, or has anybody been to Angola? Anybody been to Angola? So that is the first country, African country in the alphabet. And just to give folks, this is a private group. It's a public private group. Who's that? Cousin, cousin, how are you? Cousin, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, has anyone been to Angola or know anybody from Angola? Because Angola, talking about sleep, folks sleeping on Angola for real. Folks are sleeping on Angola. Angola is basically almost at the living level day to day of like Dubai. Did anyone know that? Did anyone know that? I'm going to be freaking y'all out over the next like 2 months when we go over these countries because all we hear about is South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and Kenya's kind of coming in. Reverend Bridget, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's all we hear about are those four: Nigeria, Ghana. Everybody want to move to Ghana. Everybody want to move to South Africa. Everybody want to move to Kenya. And I'm telling you, if I did not find my place in Kenya, there's a couple of places that I would be trying to chill at for real. Okay. So Angola is one of them. And just to give everyone that's coming in, that's seeing the replay, we're part of a group. So we're like-minded. I did, when I first started talking about Africa, it was just to answer questions that everyone would ask me. Oh my God, well, be safe when you go over there, Gloria. Oh, well, is the mosquitoes going to eat you and you're going to get sick and die? And these are real things. And I'm not shading anyone, but that's what the Western media feeds us, right? But it's so interesting that the Western media, they over there, not us. So they scaring us to be over in our home country, but they telling us don't go there. It's so, it's dangerous and all this and all that. Miss Q, how are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you for being on. So it's just so interesting to me, just to give you all like some flavor. Yesterday, we really had a really, really good warm up. We talked about just the different fun facts of Africa, how Africa is the only country that is really the richest country as far as resources and everything. No other, not country, my bad, continent does not match Africa and what it brings to the table. And we just really had a good discussion and a nice warm up about just what we are here and we're about. So when I started talking about Africa, it was just answering questions, just getting on, alive on my own, unfiltered, because I would never be on if I had to edit. My YouTube was on the struggle bus and still am. It's probably picking up a little bit on YouTube now because I'm I don't even have a thumbnail. I'm just getting on and we talking. We talking. Hey, Miss Rashid, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on. So this is for information of traveling to the motherland, okay? And possibly, since it was made extremely clear of how we are respected and dealt with in this country called the United States after November 5th, we need to, you know, start reevaluating what is really the American dream, right? Because we can have an American dream. And I say this, and then we'll go on to talk about Angola. The American dream, we can always have it. The American dream is not working until you're 65, but the life expectancy is 72. But between 65 and 72, you going to the doctor because you so broke down and you got to live on, a fixed income and you can't go out, you can't live. And even if you retire early, you go out to enjoy yourself. You go to Vegas, you go to NOLA, and that's not living a dream. Let's call it what it is. It's really not. And you want to have the best, you want to live more than comfortably. You want to live life. And you can't live life always being paranoid because you don't know what, if you have small kids, your kids coming home saying, oh yeah, we did a shooter drill, Ma. I was in Portugal and it was several people. I was with a group, Blacks in Portugal, and I was at a dinner and they were sharing, it was 30 people at the dinner. This was a random dinner that when I was there, happened to go to. And out of the 30 people that were at Ajuda, I destroyed it. I'm so sorry. Um, Thank you so much, though. Out of 30 people, 27 of those 30 people were in process or already lived in the Lisbon area and left the United States. So one of the stories that I always remember, it was this young lady. She was a single parent. Her daughter was like 5 or 6. And she said what did it for her is when her daughter came home from kindergarten and said, "Yeah, we did a shooter drill, mommy." She was like, "I'm gone. I'm out. I can't do it. I just cannot do it." So anyway, I want to thank y'all, and I'm loving the vibe. It's gonna be the bomb. It's gonna be so the bomb, and I want you to stay engaged. I want you to ask questions, and as time goes on, well, with each country, I'm trying to get people to come on that are from that country, but the time difference is so crazy. It's now like 4 in the morning in most places, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So to get people to come on with us is a challenge. But I'll give you as much as I can, and offline, I can definitely connect you. Hey, Courtney, thank you for coming on. I can connect you with people if you're interested in that area. Um, I'm connected with realtors because we are talking about repatriation, groups that do solely the relo. Okay, we'll get you there. Have folks on the ground in South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, and just making connections constantly. Um, I'm building relationships with the ministries of tourism. That's really great. Uh, we are doing a trip October with a big tour group into Ghana in October 2025, and then September I was researching Seychelles. They're having their fashion week and it's looking really fly with all African designers. So that should be really fabulous. That's on the agenda and more. I want people to engage and see where y'all want to go. If you want to go there on just a visit on a scout trip, to see what's going on, but we're just going to be so engaged. So there was a question because I like to follow up from the day before. So offline, before I get into the country, offline, there was a question, and this question comes up a lot. Well, I'm at a certain age. Well, I'm not feeling comfortable because I don't know about the healthcare. I don't know about the hospitals or the doctors if I get sick. Okay, so let's unpack this for a second. Like I said, yes, let's unpack that. So that is a legitimate concern, but to keep it 100, the reason why healthcare is so on the forefront of our mind and we get paranoid if we don't have a hospital or a doctor is because of the stuff that we consume. When you go over to the motherland, most of the places you're eating natural. You're not eating the poison packaged stuff, chemical ridden stuff that they give us. In most of the developed African countries, the hospitals, and especially the private hospitals, are top notch. Just think about your doctors here. They Indian or they Nigerian? They Indian or they Nigerian? They African. So if you're over in a developed country where folks got money, you're going to get the healthcare you need that you probably won't even need because you will be ingesting into your body a whole different type of product. They're not building hospitals here in the United States, unfortunately. I'm seeing a flood, especially in Atlanta, of cancer centers. That's very scary that they're building more cancer centers and hospitals than regular hospitals. So just to put that out there. So the even at the private hospitals, what you pay, if you pay out of pocket, is usually less than what you pay your copay that you go to the regular doctor. I have a young lady, my mentor, she's in Senegal. She had her first child in Africa. And she said for a cesarean that cost her in the States 30,000, it was $3,500. And she stayed in the hospital longer. She felt comfortable. She had top notch, and this was at a private hospital, everything. So it's a difference. It's a big difference. It's a concern, but I want to address that. Okay, so let's get into Angola. Thank y'all so much. Bussa Boy, thank you. And everyone, please share. Do it for me. Please share. Because sharing is caring, you know. Sharing is caring. And we want to have a revolution like they did on January 6th that nobody talks about. We want to have a revolution, honey. So just think about the number one consumer. We took all of that out and took it back home because mama's calling us back. Mama calling us back home. That's our origination. Take all of our, listen, our 401k, our pension, our savings, our 403b, if you was in the military, our military check, you getting that. What? That's the real American dream, y'all. That is the real American dream for real. Not getting that check and then you can't make ends meet because, as a young lady said yesterday in the chat, she's over 70 and her monthly expenses is $5,000 a month. When the average Social Security check is $1,500, $2,000 most. So we got to do some things, honey. So, okay, so Angola. Angola is in the West. This is a sleeping giant for real. So I know, and if anyone wants to jump on, please, anyone from Angola in the chat, put a 1. If anyone is from Angola, because I want to get it right. So I want to be up here talking, and then they like, oh, she all wrong information. This is what I researched, honey. But Angola is in the West, right? And it is a coastal country, but it's bordered by 4 other countries. It's the 7th largest country in Africa. Okay, 7th largest country in Africa, and it borders Namibia. That's another Namibia. Write that one down. Write that one down and make sure you're on that chat for that. All these countries are fly. Oh my gosh. Namibia, the DRC, that's the Democratic Republic of Congo. Then you got the Congo. It's 2. It's the Democratic Republic of Congo and then the Republic of Congo. Yes. 2 different countries, right? And Zambia. So those are around Angola. Hi, baby, Miss Nazinga. Welcome. I've been looking for you. Yeah, so they border the 7th largest country. And fun fact, I don't know if y'all knew this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all knew it was one of the most richest countries in Africa. And expensive for expats to live. One of the most expensive. I thought that was like on Mauritius side, but they're saying that Angola is one of the most expensive places to live and the richest country for its resources, of course, because as I said, Africa is a big piece of rock of diamonds, gold, and everything like that. They're just sitting on it. They're just sitting on it. And the political powers were smart and developing the countries from those resources. So Angola, if people remember Angola back in the day, if people around my age, and remember it was drama, major drama in Angola, right before, it was 14 years before they gained their independence from Portugal. They were, they were colonized by the Portuguese, right? And in 1975, they did gain their independence, but it was bad wars, constantly bad wars, fighting, fighting, fighting. And then even after their independence in 1975 until 2002, 2002, they still was fighting and lost about almost 1 million people were murdered in the wars and the fighting from the mid 60s to the early 60s to 2002. And then over 1 million people were permanently displaced. So for that country to come back and be where it is, it blows me away. Like I look at that country, so many of the countries, that country, especially when they've been under such war and strife, and then they come back and fast forward today, because 1975, really 2002 was not that long ago. 2002, what, 20, this is 25, that's 23 years ago. Apartheid, 30 years ago. And these countries have been able to turn around and move forward. And, I guess that's what we in the US as Black people hope for, but it just never happens. It never And I think it's because it's just the numbers of people. We're 13% of the population. So, in Africa, Europeans may be between 1 and 5%. So I think that is a determinant factor of why they have been able to turn around and be in a better position. So fast forward now, Angola is thriving and is growing exponentially. They have um, they have 35 million people in Angola, and the capital is Luanda with the L, not Rwanda. It sounds like Rwanda. It's not. Luanda, Luanda. And Luanda has about 10 million people. That's the capital. All right. Other fun facts about uh, Angola. It is primarily a Portuguese speaking country. So it's fly, but you got to know your Portuguese, honey. 71% of the people that live there speak Portuguese. So I be in my feelings sometimes because I went to French class and I went to Spanish class, but we're not bilingual. No matter what your social status is in Africa, you probably know about 2 or 3 languages, or in other countries, you know about 2 or 3 languages fluently. I be feeling a type of way. I really do. I really do. Um, uh, there's people like, I always refer to Kenya because that's what I know most. And people there that are just regular workers, they know Swahili, they know English, and they know Italian and sometimes German. They know 3 to 4 languages. And I struggle with English. I struggle with English. But anyway, so who's this? Sally, thank you for jumping on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it's Angolan Portuguese, but Angola is mostly Portuguese speaking. So you got to know your Portuguese. And that will tie into, because we're also talking about not just traveling there. Remember, this series is about traveling and living. So I will be giving you the stats on living there. I got so much good information for y'all. All right. So let me see. So we boarded it. The people are amazing. They're warm, they're friendly. I mean, very, very good vibe people. So you can go and be comfortable. As long as you know the language, okay. As long as you know some Portuguese, okay. Um, fun fact also, a lot of fun facts with Angola. Angola has the second largest tropical forest in the world, not in Africa, in the world. If you are an eco traveler, but Angola has a whole ton of things going on. A lot of eco tourism stuff. They have a waterfall that is out of this world, out of this world. And it's called the Calendula Falls. Calendula Falls. It's breathtaking. And the drop is, I don't know how far the drop is with Niagara Falls. Does anybody know what the drop of Niagara Falls is? Put it in the chat for me, please. Put it in the chat. But the Calendula Falls, the drop is 344 feet. But it's beautiful. Then they have these, what do you, when you go, these, not the caves, but when you go to, what's that thing in I think is it Nevada, and you look over. I can't get the name of um, what you call those peaks, but they have that also in Angola. That's just drop dead gorgeous. The views are just beautiful. So to go um, on vacation, I would definitely suggest it. And I'm going back to my African handbags. I give Angola 5 African handbags for real, for real. And then to get ready to move there, it is growing very quickly. The median age has a very, very young population. The median age is 16. And that may sound young, immature. No, because then that sets a tone for the future of their economy and their talent. There's only 2% of people that's over 65 that's in Angola. Since the war and how everything has been improving, the life expectancy has gone up, but it is really moving quickly. Um, the reason why Angola has got to the point where it went from a war torn country with nothing in 2002 to one of the richest and most expensive places to live, even as an expat, um, is because of its resources. And the way that they got their main money. This is kind of deep. I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to pick up what I'm putting down, honey. So, what is so cool is they got to this point from their oil. Okay. They are the second, they have the second largest reserve of oil and gas right behind Nigeria. Who would have thunk it? Because who talks about Angola? Nobody. Nobody think about Angola. And to be quite honest, the last time I really heard about Angola was when it was war torn. That's the only time I heard about Angola. But folks over in Angola in their yachts on the pier. Yeah, they have a yacht. They the side of on their waterfront yachts, honey. That's how they are getting down in Angola while everybody else sleeping. And no shade to Ghana, but they're really chilling in Angola. Okay, in Luanda, Angola. Okay. Um, Another fun fact: a Miss Universe came out of Angola over 10 years ago, over a decade ago. There was an African Miss Universe, and she came out of Angola. Isn't that crazy? That's cool. Cool stuff. Um, but they also have other, like, Angola is rich in many of the natural resources other than gas and oil. They also have gold, tons of it, diamonds, tons of it, iron ore, tons of it, manganese, tons of it, and copper and phosphate, tons of it, to the point where a lot of the diamonds aren't even mined yet. They haven't even touched to mine all of these resources because they need, I guess, big investors to set everything up. And it's been pushed back on investors coming in because they, I, from what I understood, like, the investors want to be careful of corruption in the government, but the government is going in a particular way. So what I'm picking up with that is there may be foreign investors and want to turn around and colonize it. And what I'm seeing from most African countries now, they're not being bought no more. And they're telling the colonizers get to step in. We see that with France. Mali and Eritrea will not even allow uh, France to have an Air France plane in Mali or some of the other countries. So, um, yeah, so I think that's a big thing, that because who wouldn't want to be on the train of unmined diamonds and gold? That that's what put Botswana's chilling and was nothing after their independence. And I can't wait to talk about Botswana too. But anyway, uh, Gloria, stay focused. Okay, so but who wouldn't want to jump on that? But I really think the main reason is that they don't want people to come in and take advantage, be bought, and then, you know, here we go with the gentrification and the colonization again. That's why a lot of African countries will not allow anyone except um, permanent residents um, to own land, because they don't want the colonizers to come and buy up the land and then just, you know, be in control of that. Anybody have any questions so far? It is 8:36. Ask some questions, please. Anyone want to come on camera? Come on camera. Buster Boy, you want to come on camera? Courtney, you want to come on? Who want to come on camera? Ajua, come on camera. Come on camera. Let's talk. All right. So let me see. The currency. No. Let me roll back a little. So to get there, let's talk about getting there. So to get there, you do need a visa prior. It's not visa on arrival, so y'all can write that down in your notes. You have to apply for a visa through the consulate, through e-visa and all of that, um, before you get there. And your passport has to be valid. And this is just this is a tip. When I used to book travel for Amex, I didn't know this, okay, and but it was a standard procedure that your passport, when you travel internationally, your passport has to be valid 6 months after you come back. Didn't know that. So, yeah. So keep that in mind, that to make sure that your passport is solid, because you may be able to get over whatsoever. What was that? Wants to join you. Kulani. Yes. Yes. Yes, Miss Kulani. You can definitely come on. Kolani. And I think Miss Kolani is in the motherland right now. So I'm going to bring her on. Miss Kalani, how do I do this? Ah, let me bring her on. Hold on. She's coming on. Yay. She's coming on. And I made my mark because you know I will forget. And then also, as she's coming on, as I said, make sure your passport is valid 6 months from the time, 6 months after arrival to to the country. All right, and then also yellow fever is mandatory. So if you are not a fan or don't want to take any shots, that is the fallback, because the yellow fever shot is really the only vaccination that you will, saying that is Anna, she's coming on eventually. It's taking a minute. Um, Yellow fever will be, don't let, when you go and get your yellow fever shot, don't let them talk you into getting every shot. They will scare you, they will fearmonger you, unless you have some immune deficiencies that you should have had already. Okay, what happened? Why isn't she on yet? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try again. Hold on. Invite, invite. I'm inviting you. So come on. Okay. So don't let them fearmonger you into having a whole ton of vaccinations, because it's not needed. When you're going to Africa, yellow fever is mandatory. I don't know why, but it is. So, but they will try to get you to take every other um, uh, shot. Oh, and also to put in your notes for the yellow fever, it's not free. It's, you can only get it at, not your private doctor. It's not covered by insurance. So I just think that people always about the money. It's not covered under your insurance. Okay. Um, Spoiler alert. So don't think it will be. And it's like $225. So just to prepare you, is no answer. Kalani, come back and because it says no answer. So when you're ready to come back, come on. We have about 10 minutes left. So so yellow fever is mandatory, and if you're going to stay in the continent for a long length of time, like over a week or so, you can get the malaria pills. It's not a malaria shot, it's malaria pills, and they are only like $10 or something like that. I'm not sure if those are. I think you can get that with Good RX. Okay. All right. Oh, I got to get this out in 10. Yeah, it's a very, so I told you about the coast. They have yachts, okay? And it's a very, very green city. Very, very green, very, very lush. So, yes, if you're into eco, you will really love to enjoy the beautiful parks, the beautiful walking in the scenery, and all that good stuff. So, again, to visit, paradise, to live there, also paradise because you have everything you want there. So, the water is beautiful and clean. Um, I talked about Portuguese, but in the schools, they are starting to teach English. So that's good. So the younger people, they may know a little English whatsoever. But if you're planning on like living there, um, know your Portuguese and to yeah, to give you a to give you a sense of uh, let me see. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, YouTube. I got lost my train of thought. Um, they do teach English. I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, all right. So, but they also have indigenous languages. They have about four indigenous languages, and so, but it's growing really, really cool. All right. The foods, and they have a great nightlife there, great entertainment life. The foods, two of their great staple foods is a stew chicken, and it's called Wamba Galina, and it's made out of like palm oil, chicken, butternut squash, and okra. Then they have a fish stew that dates back to almost slavery that the slaves made when they were being taken over to Brazil and Portugal. Um, and it's calidul served with mushrooms, right? So, other entertainment. Anybody have any questions? Y'all so quiet. Um, Other entertainment is football and with soccer. Football is soccer, okay, not the football that we know here, and basketball. So let's get into some real deep stuff on the expat side. All right, the cost of living. Are y'all ready for this? Now they saying it's the most expensive place to live, but check it out. I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well, I guess everything relative. That's why you can have the American dream, but not in America. You can have the American dream because even though this is one of the most expensive places to live as an expat, check out how much the average cost monthly cost of living is. All right, for one person, the average cost of living is $1,024, so $1,100, and that is including housing. This is inclusive of housing, utilities, food, and transport for one person. And as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, there was someone on the chat yesterday. Her cost of living is $5,000, and she's over 70. And for the average cost of living for a family of four is a little over $3,200 per month. And again, that is inclusive of housing, utilities, food, and transport. Now, rents can be pricey. They can, be up to 5K a month. Homes, average, depending on where you are, but it's still in an expat situation. 90 to over 1 million, 90,000 US dollars to over a million. All right. And they're talking about money conversion. Uh, their currency is called the Kwanzaa. Okay. KWANZA. Kwanzaa currency. And their exchange rate to the dollar is 0.0011. So you have a whole lot of money over there, whole lot. So a $80 million house is 90,000 in US. Okay. Um, so that kind of puts it in perspective, even though that's a lot. Could you imagine if this is at the top of what you're going to be paying, what your cost of living in other places will be, if this is supposed to be one of the most expensive places. So but the other thing goes into that people ask a lot, well, what type of job can I get? Now when you go over to Africa, the pay rate is totally different. So we think, oh, well, we could go over there and get a job. Like, no. What we usually make in a day, just the average, a day, like what, $150 to $200 a day. Most people may make in a month. So what you don't want to do is rely on looking for like working for someone in the continent, because the pay structure is totally different. That's why we want to approach this. Hey, TJ. We want to approach this emotionally, but not on emotions. We want to systematically plan out how you would make the choices, a move, temporary or what. I know several people in the last that when the administration came before, they bought a one-way ticket, $600, sold their stuff, and they was out, and they just made it happen. And then I would see a lot of YouTube videos saying, "Oh, we couldn't survive," because you got to plan out, because the culture and lifestyle is different. So you have to know, depending on each country, it's still you're in another continent, so you're going to move differently, right? And then number two, things are going to be totally different. So I've run into situations just like at the bank. You don't think about it when you're in the United States, but in the bank, like I would see people's like information, like you filling stuff out with a pen and paper, and the papers are sitting on the desk, and I was freaking out. And I'm not even in the banking industry. I work, but I used to work for American Express, and they were serious about compliance and security. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like my signature. I see people's check cards and credit cards sitting on the desk. I'm like, oh my God, freaking out. And then just a lot of times how people look, we as people from the US, we got to be like, okay, things got to be done. And some people are like, oh, okay. And it runs you crazy, because you're like, are you kidding me? Let's get this. And you don't want to be that chick or that dude that comes with this, but it's like, are you kidding me? So we have to know and plan our steps well. So going back to the job thing, if you would like to have employment, the best, I don't want to say employment, income. Let's look at it as income, because you want to now start living. So don't worry about a job, worry about income. And there's several ways of getting income to sustain a lifestyle of, for one person, $1,100 a month, including your rent. You can't get, I'm in Atlanta, you can't get a studio apartment for $1,100. And that's just the apartment. That's nothing else. That's not your car. That's not your food. And a family of four, you could spend $1,100 on groceries for the month. So, and you get in a house, the houses start at 90. Houses in the US start at 450. Yeah. So, but if you do want to make money, you have several ways. So you can, like I said, if you're at a certain age, if you've taught, you have your full 3B, you have your investments, you have passive income. And in some places you can get a permanent visa if you're a certain age, if you have $2,000 coming in passively every month. That's $24,000 a year. And most of the African countries, you'll be chilling. Okay. That's what one of my friends told me about East Africa. I didn't believe him. And on $2,000, you can more than live, like really on 1,000. And that's including where you're living. A 2-bedroom apartment could be $300 a month in certain places. In most places, $300-$400 a month. All right. I have 7 minutes because I'm not keeping y'all over an hour. So I covered that. Angola had the first ever, before Oprah, maybe not before Oprah, maybe the richest woman in Africa, my bad. She made Isabel dos Santos. She, oddly enough, to give her due, her dad was the president, but she went and educated herself, started investing in different businesses, and she became the richest woman in Africa, over $1 billion rich. And this was back 2012-ish, 13, 14. And her name is Isabel Santos, young girl. But getting back to how you could make money to live in Angola, okay? Oil and gas industry, obviously. So if you're an engineer, if you're a technician, even administration and support, if you're looking for a so-called job, but we're not going to call jobs anymore. We're going to Brakwezi. We don't have much time, but I want you, sorry people, I want you to come on tomorrow and give a little info on your tour business. I have the one of the tour operators in Ghana, and he invited me to do a tour. So I'm going to bring him on in one of the sessions, probably in the Ghana session. So you don't have to come on tomorrow. We'll do Ghana. And he'll talk about what he offers for the Ghana tour. And with the Ghana tour, we talked, and it's not just going to be like a vacation tour. It's going to be a scout tour. So you're going to see the tourist and the real estate side of Ghana, both. It's not going to be one or the other. It's going to be both. So he has some good stuff, and he does groups of like hundreds. So really impressive. Okay. So to make your money, to live in Angola, oil and gas industry. Then if you are connected to a Portuguese corporation and like a Portuguese bank, finance, marketing, IT, if you're coming from, I guess they would call it the Fortune 500, I guess in Portuguese of Portugal, and then they have one of their hub centers in Angola. That's how, corporate America, big time corporate America, that's how you would make your money. Then what a lot of people can do is teach. Be a teacher. And you will enjoy being a teacher because the kids want to learn and you don't have the drama that you have here. So anyone that is in the teaching profession, okay, and you're tired of here, but you still love the art of teaching, you can teach. And in most African countries, they really encourage English speaking teachers. You don't even have to, with some teaching, you don't even have to have like a 4-year degree. English speaking, English tutoring, you can be a consultant. And then with consultants, you can also make money as a consultant and freelancer in business, in law, and in technology. Okay. So, for people that have the question of, well, what can I do? If you have a degree and you want to teach, and the kids, it's a whole different, you could teach at the international school. It's a whole different vibe. There is an avenue for you to earn income while you're there. Uh, the best time to visit is dry season, and that's May to October. Okay, May to October is a really, really good time to visit. And the cost to travel. So it looks like um, the least expensive way to go is flying outside of flying from Dulles, Washington, um, to Luanda, Angola, and that could start right about 750 round trip. But the averages look like if you're leaving JFK, ATL, Chicago is about $1,300 round trip. So yeah, so that's it. So it is 10:59, and if you have any questions, uh, put put if you want me to send you, because I do have, as I said, I do have information to send you. I can do a itinerary for you on Angola, and also do a what you need to prepare, and it's complimentary. Okay, it's free to you since you're on the chat, um, of how to prepare to repatriate or move to another country. And you don't have to move permanently. Everybody thinks, oh my God, I'm going to move. I'm never going to be able to come back. Of course you can come back. You can move for 3 months. You can move for 6 months. You can move for a year. You can move for 4 years. You can move, and that'll be wherever. When you go, you probably you wouldn't want to come back. So anyway, anybody have any questions before we come on? I don't know what happened to Miss Kalani. I wanted to bring her on, but I want to thank y'all again. And I will be touching base with all of y'all for thanking y'all for coming on. And send me y'all email so I can send you some real goodies and freebies and all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. We will be talking about Algeria and the capital, Algiers. So y'all have a great night. Thank y'all so much for taking an hour out of your time to learn and talk about moving to Africa. Thank you so much, because Mama is calling us back home. Later. Bye.